So who here knows their credit utilization? Speaking of the devil, there, my friends, do you know what your current overall utilization is, or your individual? So is it over or under 30%?
And the sweet spot is really like a 7%. That's the thing. People think 30 or under 30, guys. You really want to be in that 7 to 10 range, at least under 30 for funding. But shoot, the optimal is what, the 7 to 10 range. I think. What do you think?
Does anybody know what the ideal, how FICO rewards you for the most amount of your credit utilization?
That's why I
7%?
said, Dennis. I said 7%.
Yeah. How'd you come up with 7%?
Oh, seven's the lucky number. Every time I play, every time I play in Vegas, I always hit the sevens. Me and Armin, man, we always hit jackpots in Vegas,
Sean
bro.
got it. 1 to 6%.
100%.
Yeah, so it's just straight from FICO, right? I actually have their internal documents, and they have a point system, not credit scores, but a point system. And 1 to 6% of the utilization is where they reward you the most. And if you pay it off at 0, you don't get the same reward or that credit score increase as if it was at 1%. Interesting enough. I don't understand the logic, but that's how they made it. So 1 to 6% is that great. All right, so I wanted to bring this to attention because I know overcoming high credit utilization is a big deal, and it's definitely one of the challenges that we face, on a daily basis, especially right now, where a recent study from Bankrate said that credit card balances are right 40% higher than they were in 2021. Where about 56 million people currently carry credit card debt that's more than a year. And even the clients that I was dealing with, even in the RAD community, right, there was one of the challenges that we had to overcome was high credit usage. And as you all know, if you are maxed out for a long period of time and you start paying it down, have any of you guys here felt the pain of them slashing your limits? Has that happened to you where you've had a long maxed out credit card, let's just say for 6 months or a year or some sort, and all of a sudden you pay it down and they just went and they slashed it? Put a yes in the chat if that's you or me. It's crazy. So making sure that we have the right strategies of paying down and doing this, it's a little bit of the 10 different ways of what I have developed throughout my journey being in this game of credit optimization. But as you can see here, where the 0 to 19% is a little bit of the risk factor, and as you're going all the way to 100%, right, very self-explanatory there. But looking at leveraging all the different tools and the strategy of what you have access to right now, of what you can do to decrease that dramatically here. Okay, number one is shifting it to your business credit cards. So if you have an existing business credit and you're able to take your personal credit cards and then do a balance transfer or liquidate and move over to the business side, that will help you with your utilization. Again, by having good credit, you can always sign up with a new LLC, or you could establish a new one or tap into the existing one, as long as your personal credit is clean. You want to preserve that as much as possible. And the number one thing that's important, of course, and here in America. So shifting it from personal to business. Another business strategy that I've developed here is merchant cash advances. Now, I passionately hate MCAs. I actually get people out of those type of loans. However, they do serve a purpose. It's more of your bridge loan aspect of it, where you have a use for either 1 to 2, 3 months to be able to resolve and solve a current problem, and then you're able to pay them off thereafter. So how I use them is that, number one, there's certain companies like Funbox or some of these other ones, these MCAs, that don't file a UCC. So remember, you want to remove all UCCs as much as possible. If your credit isn't the greatest because of high credit usage or whatever, you want to get an MCA, take that capital, pay down your personal credit, as long as it's the only thing that's stopping you from getting approved. That way your credit score is optimized. You now then can go get good debt, pay off that MCA immediately after. Okay, does that understand? It's like a 1, 2, 3 step in this way. A UCC is a lien that gets placed on your business credit, letting the world know that, hey, I lent this person some, it could be a capital, a loan, or anything of that nature, that letting them know that you have a debt. There's certain ones like equipment loans that are not really detrimental for you. But if you have, if you have your EIDL, they're going to file a UCC, which, that's actually good debt, very, very long term. But any of these MCAs, majority of them will file a UCC, letting the world know that. All right, balance transfers or liquidate. So if you have room on your business credit cards, you want to liquefy it, and then you go and you pay down your personal credit. A little bit of that strategy there. All right, using your personal credit, right, is what I like to call the shift to debt, where you're able to change it from revolving to installment. Again, I try to avoid playing with the personal credit version of it, but again, the outcome is more important than in this situation. So if you have a whole bunch of credit cards that are maxed out and you need to consolidate that or qualify for a personal loan to then pay off the revolving debt, that could be one strategy that you use. Using your personal loans at the same time. Again, it's very similar to the two over here. Balance transfers between each accounts. So if you know you have a high limit credit card and this other one that is lower but is maxed out, you can do a balance transfer. I'm going to show you an example of what I mean by that. You'd always ask for credit limit increases, but again, the best time to ask for increases is when your credit score is as high as possible. The best time to ask for money is when you don't need it, right? But again,
100%.
these are the things that are going to help chip at the challenge and get you closer to that outcome. All right, so shifting a debt, you can see that if you have on the left, you have a maxed out credit card for 10,000, you have another one for 5,000, another one for 2,000, right? And they're all $10,000 limits. And so if you shift it and you do a balance transfer between the two, you have 34% versus 100% and 50%. Right? You're not spending any money. You're just really shifting it, and that looks a lot more stronger. Your credit scores will increase without spending any money, and this will actually be in the borderline where you can still get new approvals by doing that. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. What's funny too, Anthony, go back for a second. How many Americans see all of you guys in the room? You guys are overachievers. You understand this, but most Americans would see this right here. This would be average for people that have a $10,000 credit card and they don't understand why their credit score goes down or doesn't go up when they pay their bill every time. It's because they have a 34% utilization across the board, right? And that's what you don't know hurts you. So the normal American would see this, say, hey, I have a $10,000 credit card. That's all I need. They're going to say, that's all I need. I don't spend more than $10,000. No, grandma, I get that you don't spend more than $10,000, but when you spend $3,400, your credit score will go up by you just having access to $20,000. You don't need to use the $20,000. Remember, what you don't know is hurting you. So in this situation, this looks like a lot of Americans today, Anthony, working a job they can't stand, getting credit cards to pay the bills. Most people look at credit as a bad thing, not as a way to get rich. This entire monetary system is built off debt. Every good real estate investor understands, give me as much debt as I can have because I will write off everything. I won't be making money because I'm in debt. Meanwhile, I'm controlling assets and getting more capital and credit off these assets, and I'm becoming uber super rich. When you understand how the monetary system properly works and you know how to leverage credit to build wealth, my God. But this situation right here is a nightmare situation for most Americans. They don't know how to get the credit limit increases. They don't know how to shift the debt. They don't know when to pay their bill. And they don't know the ramifications of paying their bill on this date versus that date. This is just, you don't know what you don't know. You guys are all in the room, so you understand that. But guys, that is key. Shifting money, shifting debt, taking this debt, moving it onto ghost lines, which we'll talk about later on, lines that don't report to business or personal. Well, why would I want that, Dan? So you could hide the debt so your score can go up. And that's the biggest reason why credit repair companies is the biggest scam, is because they tell people don't apply for new credit, right? Well, you need to be having positive payment history every single month. It's what you don't know. That payment history is big. That utilization is big. The inquiry itself is not big. The new account itself is not big. That is just a small sliver of the pie compared to what really matters, right? But this, Anthony, this right here is most Americans with a Chase card, with a Discover card, and they don't want more credit cards, but they don't understand how much this would actually matter if they had them.
It's actually one of the number one challenges that we face that we have to overcome in our business, right? From the hundreds of clients that we take on and we're reviewing, the credit utilization is actually a pretty big deal, right? And so hence why I did extensive amounts of research on how to fix these type of situations. I'm going to provide you some additional ones real quick as well. Now, adding authorized users, it's not going to help with the credit utilization, but again, it will increase your credit score. And you have two different options. If you have friends and family, if they've been responsible, looking at the perfect credit formula, right? If you understand that concept, everyone can increase your score 5 to 30 points. And that's enough points for you to be able to get a personal loan. And that can then help you qualify to pay off the revolving debt or shifting it for another business credit card if they have lower requirements. Those are all certain things, right? So you just have to chip away depending on where am I at, what can I do right now, and what can I control to be able to solve this outcome, this problem a little faster. So asset-based lending, if you do own a home, I recommend getting a home equity line of credit. It's not something that I do. I used to be in the mortgage for about 10 years. But again, having a HELOC, which is secure debt, it's easier to qualify if your debt to income ratio is in line, typically around 35 to 40%. But having that, as far as the qualifications, that can help reduce and get that outcome a lot faster. Doing a cash out auto loan, where if you have a paid off car, let's just say it's a $10,000, $20,000 vehicle, that's what it's worth, and the bank's going to give you 50%, 60%, 70% of the value of that in a cash out refi, then use that and pay off your personal credit debt. Once it's paid off, going as a business credit, and then you're off to the races. You can use a lot of these new technologies, fintech HELOCs are coming out. Avon is one, and Figure is another one. I haven't worked with them personally, but again, if there's a
People
way
have gotten big approvals with Avon in here, brother. I have people that signed up for the program the same day that I talked about Avon a couple months ago. They got a home equity line of credit like that, guys. Definitely tap into Avon and tap into Figure for sure. Big deal right there.
Again, yeah, having them available. Again, I don't know how they would compare to a traditional, but again, that's a whole different conversation, different day. But hey, if it's going to be a quick approval with less headache, not have to wait 30 days, and I can fix my personal credit a lot faster, and game on. All right, so here's when we get a little creative. Borrowing from friends and family. So if you understand, I'm actually going to put these two together right now. So borrowing from friends and family, and if you know that you have an exit, and a credit partner is very similar to the same point. So a credit partner is that either a co-signer or a credit partner that can be the person who can qualify either for your business or personal. Again, what we can do with one person, we can do with others. So let me give you an example. Let's just say that your business is like a car, and you are currently the driver. And if you're currently maxed out, your credit's not the greatest, all we're doing in this credit partner strategy is moving you from the primary driver to the passenger and having your credit partner be in place. Now, that person with great credit can go and apply for a business credit card, 0%, etc. And you take that capital, the new capital that person was able to qualify for, then you're able to do that whole existing business credit card transfer play, fix your credits, get your utilization where it needs to be. Now your scores shoot up to the 700s, etc., because of high credit usage. Then now you can then go and get qualified for your own business credit, business lines, term loans, whatever you can. And then you take that money, you pay off your credit partner, and you thank them and have a nice day, whatever reward or what incentive that they're going to be risking from them. Now, again, I only use this strategy, number one, if they fully understand what the risks are, because they are going to be the one guaranteeing the loans. But again, the biggest thing is that what's my exit? What's the exit for the credit partner? If I just need that person for 1 month, 2 months, then that friend or family, mom, dad, sister, brother, cousin, business partner might be a good solution to help you get there. Again, it's just in the story that you craft. But again, I've used that many times and it's worked very well. We do have access to a private bridge lender. It's not the cheapest option. Okay, it's literally it's pretty crazy for what they charge. But again, if that was if the only thing that's stopping you from getting your new loan and you're working through us, let's just say with us, they will charge you 20 to 30% of what they lend you. But they're taking a huge risk by paying off your credit cards and hoping that you don't go and spend it, right? Go to Toys R Us and buy some toys that even still exist these days. But that is an option that does exist out there. So if that's the only reason why you can't get approved and none of the other options work, then that might be a solution for you. Have you guys ever heard of this company? Goss? Anybody here? This is actually what you're talking about earlier on here as a ghost debt.
Mm-hmm.
So the interesting thing about, I have actually aligned with them as well, but they capped their interest rate at 16%. It doesn't report anywhere. It's no credit inquiry. And what they do, they connect their account, their platform with Plaid, and you want to connect as many accounts you have. You have your business, personal, whatever you have, to connect your data points. They're going to look at your cash flow, and they're going to be able to look at anywhere from, I think, 10 to 25,000 is what they'll approve you for. And it's only meant to consolidate out your high interest rate credit cards.
It's a gem, guys. That's a gem.
Yeah, I believe you need to have, if I'm not mistaken, maybe like a 660 or 670 credit score. They're not in all the states, but they were in a lot of them. So download the app and see if it's in your state. But having this, I think everybody should have this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a credit line. Whenever you need it, you just tap into it. They pay off. It takes about 3-4 days. They pay off your credit, and it's ghost. Nobody knows about it. So it's perfect. Every single person here should do this right now.
That's a gem, guys. Guys, he's dropping gems. You better stay the whole time. That's all I got to say. There's stuff that's going to be edited out of the replay. You don't want to miss it. Cancel your Netflix.
Just to recap here, avoid maxing out your credit cards. Pay your balances in full. Actually, 1%. They brought that in there, 1 to 6%, and then check your credit reports, regularly. Right. Try to use it. Shift as many onto the business credit, which that's like your leverage.